Like, I have been dreaming of this particular... I have been waiting to be 21 living in New York City since I was a toddler. Like, I have been spiritually 21 my entire life. Hey, camera. Hey, vlog. Everyone used to say that. You would like take a Snapchat video and be like, hey, vlog. I haven't picked up this camera to film something just for me in months. Thank God I'm filming. This needed to happen. Guys, we need to chat. It's my first New York City vlog. I don't know if it's gonna be a vlog. My first New York City video that I'm making since I moved here. It's a Friday night and I'm sitting alone in my apartment eating Smart Sweets at 10 p.m. I had kind of like a pit in my stomach today. Oh, I think I'm out. Okay. I had kind of a pit in my stomach towards the end of today because my roommates and I had plans to see, my roommates and I had plans to see the new Spider-Man movie. All day I'm sitting at work. I wake up at like 8 this morning. I go outside, I get my morning sunlight. I come back in, make some avocado toast. I went out and bought an avocado to make the avocado toast and came back. Bro, that's the best fucking part about living in a city like New York or Paris or London or anywhere like that. Is like, if I want something to eat, like I want groceries, I want anything, I don't have to plan fucking light years. Okay. Wait, actually, pet peeve, light years is physical distance, not time. People are always like, you have to plan light years ahead. That's like saying you have to plan miles ahead. Okay, I guess people say that. My point being, when I was living in Nashville, I had to DoorDash my groceries because I didn't have a car. I would DoorDash my groceries like once or twice a week. It was so expensive and I'd have to like bulk order my groceries. It never felt like I was ordering the right amount of things or like that it was right. Last night I'm going to bed, I'm like, oh my God, some avocado toast would really hit tomorrow morning. But I don't have any avocados. What am I going to do? And I was like, silly me. The bodega is literally around the corner. I can wake up tomorrow morning and go get an avo. And guess what? I did just that. And it was delicious. I worked a bit from here. I walked to the office. I worked at the office until 6 p.m. And my roommates and I had plans to see the new Spider-Man movie tonight. And I was looking forward to it all day. And then I walked outside of the office and it just is, shh. Okay, no, actually, here's what happened. I walk out of the office. I look outside. I'm like, oh, it's kind of drizzling. It's been like rainy in New York City this week. I guess it's just the August weather, but is it always rainy in August? It's always really humid in August in New York. That's what I also love about it. It's just freaking home, dude. It just is like the perfect mix of feeling novel and feeling like home. Like I can go home whenever I want. I bought myself this incredible camera. It was actually my first ever big girl purchase with my money. And I always am lazy and use my iPhone. But not anymore because it looks so much better on here. You want to lick my bone or rock my rocks, ta ta ta. As I was saying, I was super excited to see Spider-Man all day. And then, yeah, I walk outside. It's like kind of drizzling. I'm like, oh shit. Luckily I have purse. Luckily I have umbrella. And so I get my umbrella out. And next thing I know, it's just downpour. I'm soaking wet. I'm walking through the rain. I'm puddles. Like it literally, like, I don't know the last time I've been walking in rain and genuinely felt like my shoes were just puddles of water. Like every single time I stepped. And everyone I walked by was just waiting the rain out. But I was like, literally I left work at 6. Spider-Man started at 6. So I'm starting to get sad. I'm starting to feel sad for myself. Because I was like, if I can't see this Spider-Man movie, if they don't let me in the theater, it's going to be so goddamn late. Because now I'm already late. And now I'm probably gonna have to go home and change because I'm sopping wet. If they don't let me in, I'm gonna cry because this was literally all I was looking forward to. And then I was like, oh, that's actually really sad. And then I was like, I need to make some friends because I've been slacking off. And I think this is what I want to talk about in this video. I knew that this weekend I just wanted to get in front of the camera and freaking talk and say hi. But the quality of your life and the magic of your life, especially when you move to a new city, is entirely up to you. Like, you have to be able to feel the magic, right? And it's a choice. So every day, I moved to Paris after I graduated high school. I was 17 years old living there alone. And luckily for me, I still had the mind of a teenage girl. So like everything, and I think I do still have the mind of a teenage girl. I freaking hope. I hope. But 17, peak teenage girl. Oh my God, peak. Peak emotions, peak everything. And so I woke up every day. And it also was right after I graduated high school. And this is very similar. I just graduated college. But I was so done with it by the end. Same thing as college. So fucking done with it. Blah. Not a girl for institutionalized education. So, like, I love to learn. I felt crazy in college. I was like, I love to learn. But, I hate it here. But that's a story for another day. What was I even talking about? Oh, so I graduated high school and then I moved straight to Paris. And every single day I woke up like this. And I was like, magic is all around me. And I literally couldn't stand to be inside of my apartment. So I was like, how can I be inside right now? It's literally Paris outside. Like, even when I had complete free time, I had nothing to do with myself but sit at home for like an hour maybe in between whatever things I had. I was there for a music program and I was like relatively social. I met a guy there through the program. I was always hanging out with him. But like anytime that I for some reason was like chilling at home not doing anything, I was going out on a walk because I was just like, it's Paris outside. It's Paris outside. Like, if I'm not going to be participating in it, I'm at least going to be witnessing it and walking through it. And I always am like, oh, I lived in Paris the summer after graduating high school. I lived in Paris. I was there for July. Like, I was only there for a month. I was only there for 30 days. But it's the same way that it feels like when you go to camp for 5 weeks or something when you're younger. It feels like a lifetime because just so much is packed into that time. And I've been living in New York for 2 months now. Over 2 months? No, a full 2 months now. And I'm a little mad at myself because I think what college unfortunately did to me in a lot of ways is I became complacent. Like, I was never complacent before, but I think I just so didn't enjoy my time there, but I didn't view leaving as an option. It always was, but I never viewed it that way. And so I just became very complacent. And like, I would have my little things that I did on my own, but like, you just get used to waiting for the time to pass, you know? And I am really excited to be here and really relieved to be here. But this is my fucking time, dude. I'm 21 and I want to meet everyone and do everything. And it's different now because I work a full-time job and I haven't really found my place at this job yet. And I really want to. I really want what I'm doing there to feel like electric. Like, I want to feel like I'm getting really fucking good at something. And like, I'm really, really adding value. And I want like my way that I'm operating throughout the business world to be like, I'm like a force of nature, you know? Like, everyone's like, oh, with their entry level job, they're like, oh, it sucks. It's what it is right now. Like, we go out on the weekends. No, I'm like, I want it to be awesome. I want my job to feel awesome. I want everything I do to feel awesome because someday I'm going to be a founder and someday I'm going to have something of my own. So all the skills that I'm building up right now, like, I need to be building up the skills to be able to be creating something from nothing. And the times when I've been best at creating something from nothing throughout my life have been when I feel the magic. And it's a choice. You wake up every day and you just have to say to yourself, it's like you got a little twinkle in your eye, a little twinkle in your eye. You wake up, a little twinkle in your eye, and you're like, and it's just a way of going about life that's like, it's a little more, I don't know how to describe it. You're just like, it's like you're always just saying to yourself, like, what if? What if this happened? What if that happened? And when you constantly say to yourself, what if? That sentence finishes itself. I've found almost all of the time. Almost every single time I've like gone out and on the way there been like, what if I meet a guy? I meet a guy. Almost every single time I like walk outside and I'm like, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? This or that happens. And it's like, when you step into that energy, it's like, it's electric. But I think what's been like upsetting me most, or upsetting me at all, is that I know there are still habits built into my body that got really locked in when I was living in Nashville and I was like just not happy at school, that, you know, we're built into kind of like deal with letting the time pass, but I need to fucking get those out of the gate now, because like the opposite thing needs to be happening now. I need to be having time slow down and packing as much novelty into my life as humanly possible. This one time, it was my junior year of college, and it was right before I went abroad to London. A very magical time. But it was right before I went abroad there, and I was in a class. It was like a science communications class, which is actually right up my alley. And I was doing this final project, and for the final project, I of course had decided to do a video. And for the video, I decided to make something about the perception of time, because this has always been fascinating to me, that like time is relative, both in terms of space and gravity and motion, but also our own internal perceptions of time. So like, I interviewed one of the only scientists in the world that's done like really genuine in-depth research on what goes on in the brain when we're experiencing time in a different way. This awesome scientist, I'm blanking on his name, but he's been on the Huberman Lab, and he was just so awesome. I was like, I think I was lucky to be able to get an interview with him, just because I was like, oh, I'm a Vanderbilt student, but I was not pursuing a scientific degree. I mean, technically I had a Bachelor of Science, but like it was not a scientific degree. And I reached out to him. He's like, yeah, I can give you like 20 minutes. And he answers like my Google Meet call. He's a ski jacket on. He's actively about to go on the slopes. Like, he was at his ski house. He was like, hey, Emily. And it was a gorgeous ski house, by the way. And I could tell, I was like, he was just so kind to be like devoting any of his precious time to answering this girl's question. And I was like, hey, so can you talk about the perception of time, please? I chatted to him, and basically the biggest takeaway was, he was like, we perceive time in terms of moments that our brain has to register. So if your brain isn't getting a lot of signals, not a lot is happening. If you're like just like laying in bed and like watching a movie for 2 hours, right? It's gonna perceive that time as having passed by relatively fast. It feels like you just sat down to watch a movie, and then like you closed your eye, you blinked, and then it was 8 p.m. and then it was 10 p.m. But let's say you go to a party at 8 p.m. and you get there, and it's like all this crazy shit happens. And it's like you run into your ex, and then you run into like a girl you knew from high school. And then like your friend comes up to you and she's like wasted. and then like you're doing all these like crazy things. You get into this like really crazy like conversation with someone, and like it's like really, really intense. And then all this new shit happens, and then someone's like, it's 9 p.m. now, and then someone's like, fuck this guy, it's like we're going to another spot. And the next thing you know, you're like hopping spots, you're hopping spots, you're hopping spots. Next thing it's 10 p.m. But it felt like 6 hours because so much happened. Another analogy is like if you do nothing over a weekend and then you're like, oh my God, I feel like I blinked and it was Monday. But if you like go away for a weekend and then you go back to work and you're like, oh my God, it feels like Friday was like years ago. Like that's essentially what he's saying. So it's like the reason for that is because your brain perceives time in terms of like moments it had to pack in. So it's like if you imagine like they're literal like physical things that are all piling up, that's a bigger pile of stuff. Your brain perceives it as bigger. Whereas if you're just like placing one thing in a chunk of time, it's just that one thing and your brain perceives it as smaller. And I got here 2 months ago and I blinked and now it's not even that it's August. It's the second week of August. Like we're already burning through August. Oh, that makes me sick. And I've had some really cool moments here. Like I met Billy on the street while I was doing my own street interviews. That was crazy. And then I was featured on CNN like a month later. And that happened because I was going out of my way to make shit happen for myself. I was filming promotional content for the show that I'm doing at my job. And I was going out of my way to put myself out there. And like, it feels like a big deal every time I do something like that. And I just have to stop and have it start feeling like a little deal or like this is the everyday. Because like, there is so much energy in New York and it's for me to take. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to take it. Like, I'm at home right now. I'm not taking the energy. I'm pouring it out to you. But, like, I could be outside right now taking it in. I thought to myself for a second, like, I technically could go out alone. But I don't have that in me tonight. And my new mirror just arrived. So we're going to put my mirror together. But yeah, I don't know. It's my 20s. Like, it's my 20s now. Like, 20 through 21, that was not my 20s. I don't know what the fuck that was. I don't know what the fuck. Anyway, being here is a completely new plate. And it's entirely up to me who I want to be and the habits I want to have and everything I want to do. And there's been certain things I've been doing to like help myself get out of the shitty mindset that I was in at school and get into the one I'm in now, which that was relatively recently. Like, it was relatively recent. I'm not gonna like shit on myself when I was in school. What, 5 months ago? There's part of me that's like, but I also just want time to pass so that it can be less recent that I was at school. But like, I'm not gonna shit on myself for how I was when I was there because like, I know I was literally just doing my best. I was just doing my best, and it's like asking a flower to grow in like toxic. Okay, who was I listening to? I was listening to someone because sometimes I'm hard on myself, and I'm like, you should just be able to adapt to any environment. Like if you didn't like college, you should just have been able to fucking deal with it. And honestly, like for the amount that I was not enjoying myself there, I did pretty well. But it's like really well would have been just leaving. And so that's another thing we're working on while I'm here is being less risk averse and more willing to take risks. Something I'm working on. God, I have so much on my mind. I actually can't believe it took me this long to get the fucking camera out. How much battery do I have? Not a lot. I can tell you that much. And actually, I don't know why I'm even saying shit because my camera is awesome and you can just plug it in. A lot of cameras, you have to charge the battery individually, but not mine because it's literally the best. Come on. Okay. Also, Steve Lacy featured in Spider-Man. That was awesome. Yeah, I was just so out of place there. And I think it's just that it's like, I don't
don't know, your perception of yourself dictates so much of pretty much all of your life. And I know that I'm a person that really, really appreciates unique thinkers, people who are willing to go outside of the box and do something of their own and like reject what everyone else is doing. But I also thought of myself as someone who would go to college because obviously, like, I always liked being good at school and I liked participating in class and I really liked learning. And I knew that I wanted to go have some sort of a career. And this was before AI was really a thing. I sound ancient saying that, but it's true. So, I don't know, the career landscape was really different. But then I got to college and it was just a continuation of high school. Like, it was literally just a continuation of high school. And I was so done with high school by the end of it. I didn't talk to anyone there. I walked in and just did my own thing. And like, anyway, I don't even want to talk about that anymore because it's just upsetting me to think about. And I'm not going to fucking live in the past! But that's what I would do a lot too at college is I would like look back at times from the past when I was happier. Because obviously, but like then you're literally living in the past. And like, that's the opposite of what you want to be doing. Anyway. No more complacency. No more complacency. I think it's hard because it's like, you just have to be able to like get out all of the noise. There's also always going to be people that are like, you should just be working all the time. But it's like, honestly, that's a waste of my fucking time. That is a waste of my fucking time. Like, I'm going to work hard, obviously. But I'm a human being on Earth. And I'm a human being on Earth here to be with other human beings on Earth. And also, I'm a woman. No, I'm raising my voice because I'm mad about this. There are the fucking dialogue around like, you need to sacrifice your 20s to have a comfortable 80 years of your life. Like people who are going out who are doing this like aren't operating on the same like level as you. Like you just need to be working all the time. Like da 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 da. Whatever. That whole vibe of thinking is so patriarchal. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I think they're liars. I think they're all liars. Because every story I've ever heard about a really successful business or startup was completely oriented around the interactions and the people that built it together. Every incredible story you've ever heard, any like rising pop star, any crazy successful business, like it's either like how the founders both met and how they both realized they had this incredible vision, or like for example, like Tate McRae is getting like a lot of attention right now in the media because she's like really blowing up and she's doing incredible. In the past 2 years, she's had like a generational run of success. And I honestly think a huge reason for that is because she didn't go to school, and so she doesn't think in the box. Like she didn't go to like high school and college, so she doesn't think in the box. And she's like just so in touch with her creative side. Story for another time. She always talks about how like the first thing she did when she realized she wanted to go into music was that she needed to meet the right people. She needed to meet the right producers. She needed to meet the right choreographers. She needed to meet these people. Like the magic behind Tate's tour was that she had this whole team of dancers and they were all like a friend group. And like, it's just so hard for me to believe that humanity, like we as human beings, being social is so centered around everything we do. It's so hard for me to believe that advancing as a society means straying away from that. If advancing as a society means enhancing the human experience, it's so hard for me to believe that moving away from what is core to what makes us us is the way to get there. I don't think that's true. Because honestly, as well, I'm a fucking case for it. Like, You know what? Yeah, the weeks I've spent here where I've just been on my computer sitting inside all day and I haven't gone out at all and I haven't met anyone, I can't think of any time I've done that when it's had like a really positive impact on my work and my career. But the times I've gone to events, like founder events, founder dinners, and met founders, I walked out being like, oh my God, I feel like I have so much more clarity on what I want to do, like talking to these people. And also, I'm good at these things. Like, I know I want to do something social. Anytime anything of substance has happened to me here, it's literally been the like smidgens of moments I've gone out. Like, the one time I went to like a big event, like rooftop event, I ended up going on a date that night with a guy there. And like, it was just like a funny, silly thing that happened. Like the one, like when I was putting myself out there to like go chat to people in Washington Square Park, and I was going over and over and over. Like when I met Billy, it was like my third or fourth time doing that. And then that happened. One of my favorite pieces of advice that my dad's ever given me, and my dad is a very pragmatic guy, very like rational, like this is how you get from A to B type guy. And it's done him really well. My brain is not that straightforward, but mad respect to him. He also is a man though, so more simple-minded, some would say. But one of my favorite pieces of advice he's ever given to me is it doesn't always matter exactly which path you pick. What matters more is just picking one and sticking to it. Being able to pick one and stick to it. I think when I got here, I was like, oh my God, should I be inside working all the time? Should I be meeting people? Should I be going out? Should I be sober? Should I be working out all the time? Should I be giving my body a complete break? Should I be going on walks? Should I be getting more hours of sleep? Should I be eating this way? Should I be eating that way? Should I dress like this? Should I talk like this? Should I wear this? Should I do... Okay. I'm at a point now where I'm just like, okay, I've had 2 months of trial and error. And by the way, not much of it, because I've actually just been spending so much time inside. I've just been spending so much time by myself in front of a computer. And I feel like it's like trial, error, and like stillness. And it's like, I've trialed a few times. I've trialed. And I've failed a few times. And there's like things I'm doing in my work that I really enjoy. And there's things that I'm doing in my work that I thought I would really enjoy that I'm really not enjoying. And there's things that I'm doing in my work that I feel obligated to do. And there's things that I'm doing in my work that there's things I'm not doing in my work that I could be, that I should be doing more of, that I do want to do. Anyway, it's equally overwhelming and exciting, the fact that I quite literally have never had as much opportunity and as much abundance and as much psychological safety and as much self-assurance and as much experience as I do in my life right now. Like, I've never known myself better than I do now. It's my first time being on a complete, like, I'm always hesitant to say completely financially independent, because it's like, girl, who's still on their family's health insurance? Okay. And who's still on their family's data plan? And who still recently asked her mom to buy her a new dresser because her dresser broke? Okay. But I'm definitely the most financially independent I've ever been in my entire life by a long shot. That's not even giving myself enough credit. Like, I'm working on my own salary now. I'm spending my own money, right? Anyway, what was I even saying? That I have no kids. I'm single. I live in one of the most affluent cities in the entire world. I live in pretty much the only city equipped to do everything I want to do with my life right now. We're entering a new renaissance. I can feel it. And I'm living in New York City as we're entering this new renaissance. And I'm just like, I'm so fucking excited. And I don't, like, can we hold each other accountable, you and me? Like, we can't let time pass. It'd be too fucking sad. And I feel like my past 4 years of memories are of me either not being true to myself or being true to myself and then being just so disappointed when my environment and the people in my environment were not a match. But not being able to properly articulate that issue. Like, I have been dreaming of this particular... I have been waiting to be 21 living in New York City since I was a toddler. Like, I have been spiritually 21 my entire life. I've been spiritually 21 my entire life. Like, I am currently my spiritual age. Wait, actually, am I spiritually 21? I actually think I might be spiritually, like, 30. I think I'm spiritually 30. But I was always really, because, like, spiritually 30, it's, like, you're still, like, young, but you're very, like, I feel like 30 gives, like, very sure of yourself and, like, very, like, this is me, this is what I want to do with my life, and, like, I know what I want. And I feel like I do know what I want. It's just scary to admit to myself. But one thing I want to practice more of is doing scary things. And somewhere along the way, I got really tired of being... Oh, interesting that I just said tired instead of scared. I got really tired of being perceived. Huh. Was I more tired of being perceived than scared of being perceived? But the only tiring part of being perceived is thinking about people's perception of you. It's not the act of people perceiving you because you're not living inside their brains. You know what I mean? It's like you can't be tired from other people perceiving you. You're tired from you perceiving that perception. You see what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down? It's like you can't be worried about people judging you if you're not allowing their judgment of you to fucking enter your mind. Anyway, I have always been a person that wanted to put herself out there. Like, I have always, and it feels like I have to, like, ask for permission for it, though. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like I have to be like, hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. So I'm actually gonna be loud for a second. I'm actually gonna stand on my soapbox. I'm actually gonna put myself out there. Is that cool with you guys? I released a YouTube video at the beginning of last summer when I was like, okay, it's summertime for me to have my personality back. I released a video and it was just basically about like, it was like, hey. And I was like, it was like basically directed at my friends and family, honestly, because like, it's kind of so niche, like the topic of it. And I was like, I pulled an all-nighter in London editing it, and then I immediately went back home the next day. And it was kind of, oh my God, those smart suites, something's happening in my system. And it was kind of like me being like, hey guys, I'm going to make YouTube videos now. Everyone cool with that? And everyone was like, my immediate friends and family were obviously so awesome about it because that's why they're my immediate friends and family, because they're so supportive of me and awesome and amazing and cool. But I think there's always still a huge part of me who like literally envisions the fucking losers that used to judge me in high school when I post, viewing my posts. And it's like, as I'm saying that, I'm imagining me putting this clip up on my Instagram story and said losers seeing it and being like, is she talking about me? Yeah. And you're not a loser because of the typical term. You're a loser because you're fucking mean to me. And it's loser behavior to not have the inner strength to be kind and to not bring down people who are a little eccentric. But yeah, and then, but it's like, you have to think about it, like, think about the people in your vision who you look up to the most, who are like the most like, oh my God, like they are like God to me. And it's like, literally imagine if they didn't do what they do because they were worried about fuckers from high school judging them. Oh my God! And it's like, when you put it that way, it's like, by the way, the only difference between you and them is that you're letting that judgment get to you. It's like, when you put it that way, it's like, honestly embarrassing. It's honestly embarrassing. In order to heal myself, for my own personal healing, I have to... I think I'm just going to start posting rants on my YouTube channel. Because I have like a whole album in my camera roll of like these rants. But like obviously they contain more detailed personal information. In my hidden camera roll, it's just like a bunch of videos. I took a lot of them in high school. I was so good about like my like mental health routines in high school. I was so awesome in high school. No, I'm still awesome. I'm more awesome now. I don't know. I think I always just romanticize like the version of yourself when it's like you first are really, as a woman, becoming yourself. Like after puberty, like I think COVID happened and I was like literally so down bad. Like literally so down bad, like teenage rage, teenage angst at the world, so down bad. And then I switched schools after that and I was like, fuck this. It's time to get at the world. And boy, did I. Anyway, I just feel like I'm sick and tired of asking for permission. And it also feels like anytime I ask the world for permission, it's not that the world is like, fine. And then I'm like, okay. And then I like get into gear and I like go. It's like, I always feel like I asked for permission and the world is like, yeah, like, I don't know, like, do what you want to do. And then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then I like do it for a second and then I like don't do it anymore. And then I'm like, hey, remember me? Can I actually do this again? Sorry to bother you. I know I've talked about this before, but can I actually do this again? And then the world is like, yeah, girl, I don't know. Like no one actually said no in the first place. And it's like actually crazy how much you can be scarred from like the most like random mean instances you experience as a kid. But it's like in your mind, like the most dangerous thing to us as human beings is being socially isolated. You know, when like something random happens to a dog and then they're like terrified of that thing. Like for example, like one time my dog Janie was trying to walk down the staircase. I wasn't present for this. This is how the story goes. She was trying to walk because I got home one day and I was like, why is Janie standing at the top of the staircase? And my mom was like, well, let me tell you why. She was standing at the top of the staircase this one day and she, you know, kind of, maybe the floor was slippery, something happened. She had a minor tumble. No injuries. From there on out, Janie will stand at the top of the staircase, and like you really have to be doing the most to get her to go down. And like then she starts to go down. She's so demure about it, and I actually feel really bad for her because her brother Mac is like sprinting down that thing, and then we're all like gabbing, kikiing downstairs, and she is ultimately at the top of the staircase, like really taking her time to go down. Anyway, I feel like I really relate to Janie in that way in terms of like doing what the fuck I want. I also think I have a lot of things that I know I've always wanted to do, but in high school I was a bit like, oh, that's crazy. That would be crazy. That's why I also have so much respect for all these founders I'm meeting through my current job, because they're all people who were just willing to do outrageous things. And it's like, oh, even the word outrageous. Be outrageous. Be outrageous. One thing my favorite thought leader right now always says, Florence Gibbons, Florence Given. I always say Gibbons. Florence Given. I just read her book, Women Living Deliciously, and I listen to her podcast like literally all the time. And she always is like, make people say who the fuck does she think she is. Make people say that. Because the world wants women to be smaller. And it's like you have to fucking operate in a way that's like and like you have to be the counterculture. You know what I mean? You have to be the counterculture until it shifts. Like women's suffrage, or well, people are still misogynistic, but like anything like this, like you have to be the counterculture until it's socially unacceptable for people to shame you for it. You know what I mean? When it's still socially acceptable for you to be shamed for going against the norm, you gotta be willing to be shamed. Oh my God, it's tough, but I think I'm gonna start to get a little kick out of it. I think I'm gonna get a little kick out of it. Okay. I don't know if any of this made sense, but I just feel like I have literally so much on my mind. I feel like I have like brewing energy inside of me right now. And I want to do everything and anything and everything all at once. And I feel like I have a constant dialogue going on in my head. And I just want to project it out to the world. I want literally every single woman in the world to know what I'm thinking, because I think, and I'm going to get better at articulating my thoughts. I will. But I think something inside of me thinks that when I am able to really articulate how I feel properly and connect it to what's going on, I could make a lot of women really feel seen. The way I always think about it is like, imagine if I could create a YouTube channel and a bunch of videos of me talking and then deliver it to my 13-year-old self. Like, oh my God, she would bow down to me. I'm trying to think, what would she think of me? She would think I'm really cool. She would, but it would be so helpful, you know? And I do have a little sister. So maybe I should call her more and probably be nicer to her. But the thing is with siblings, it's like, you can give as much advice as you want to your little siblings, and they're gonna be like, okay. And then they're gonna learn it for themselves. And then they're gonna be like, hey, I learned this thing. And you're like, oh, that's so funny. I've actually been saying that to you for 3 years. And they're gonna be like, yeah, anyway, so listen to me rant about it for the next 2 hours. And you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna listen. You're gonna listen. Okay. This is good. This is good. Let's be fucking outrageous, and I don't know, I'm just gonna stop asking for permission of things. Less asking, more doing. Less consuming, more creating. Let's make them up. Less asking, more doing. Less consuming, more creating. Less asking, more doing. Less consuming, more creating. More creating, more creating. Okay. Yeah, that's it, I think. I mean, it's not. I actually could talk for the next 5 hours. I'm not even kidding. But I think I've been talking to myself for almost an hour. Oh, I clearly really needed this. That's good. That's good. Okay, my mirror just arrived. I'm really fucking excited about it. So I'm gonna put that up. And you know what? I like really value the videos I made a year ago during the summer. They make me really happy to watch back. So if anything, I'm making these for me. Okay. Love you, bye. Happy August. Do something awesome.